Today I'm gearing my truck up to do some cold weather camping this weekend here in Alabama. Winters come really late for some reason, so it's just now starting to get a little bit cold, and I want to do some tent camping. I've got a diesel heater that I want to take with me. I've had this one for about 3 or 4 months now. I've used it twice, just kind of here at the house setting it up. I've done a little bit of modifications to it, but I think I'm gonna do some more. This is an old Amazon special I picked up on Amazon. It works really good. It's kind of portable, but it's not portable, and that's kind of what I'm gonna tackle today to make it actually portable. But it's a really cool little diesel heater. They're great for tent camping, and when we get done with it today, we're gonna make it even better or we're gonna tear it up. So y'all stay tuned and see how this works out. I've got the truck set up outside. We're gonna pop the tent up in the driveway and kind of build some cool stuff. If this works out, it's gonna be really cool. I'll have a really easy way to heat my tent up so I can sleep comfortably when we're camping outside in the cold. And yeah, so let me show you kind of my plan really quick, and then we'll go out to the truck and set everything up. So this is the heater, and I'll link the heater and everything I use today. If you see this and you're like, hey, I want to build one of those, I'll link it all. Everything I got, I think I got from Amazon, and it's pretty cheap stuff. Even the heater come off Amazon. But this is just a diesel heater. It takes diesel fuel at the top. Turn it so y'all can see it. I think that's like a 16-liter tank. This tank, you fill it up, it should last you a full weekend. 2 or 3 days, you should be good. These things use, once they get to going, they use very little fuel. But you got the heater built in up under it. You got your electronics here. It's got a touchpad in the front and then the plugs in the back. Now, I wasn't happy really with the way they had it set up when I got it. The touch screen was actually on this side of the unit. And I wasn't sure why, because this is where you kind of plug it up and the cold air comes in and the heat blows out this side. So I pictured this being the front. So anyway, I've already moved the touch screen to the front up here. You got your exhaust pipe that comes out the front again for some reason. And then your actual heat duct comes out right here and blows in. 2 of the problems that I've been having with this thing, well, the first one is it's not technically portable. Even though it's got a handle and you could look at it and say, hey, that's a portable heater, you still have to plug this thing into a power source. You can plug it up with this box right here into an AC outlet, and they come with a cord where you can plug it up to 12-volt battery, DC, whatever. And this is the way I've been doing it. I've been plugging this thing up to like a 12-volt battery in the back of the truck, or either plugging it up with the AC plug to my Pecron. But if you do that, you still got to run a drop cord out of your tent. You still got to run power to this box. And if you want to pick this box up and say, move it over by the campfire to blow heat on your feet while you're hanging out or whatever, you still have to drag that drop cord with you. I want to delete that. So I've got a few things off Amazon. Well, this is just one of my Dewalt batteries because I picked up this Dewalt converter, I believe is what it's called. It's a 180 watt DC to DC converter. And what this thing does is you can plug up a Dewalt battery, and they got these for different brands, not just Dewalt. I had Dewalt batteries, so I went with this one. But you plug your Dewalt battery into here. This little box right here steps your 20 volt Dewalt battery down to 12 volts. So since this runs off 12 volts, if I hook this to it, we should be able to power this thing with a Dewalt battery. And if I can mount this little thing on here somewhere, we should be able to plug the Dewalt battery into the side of this and be ready to rock and roll. No more drop cords, no more having to worry about carrying those cords with you when you go camping. So that should be good. Another thing that I wanted to address, and I try to remember all this stuff, and then sometimes I forget and I'll go camping and be like, dang it, I meant to fix that. So I've been trying to think of everything I need to do to this before we go out. I bought this guy right here. Well, first of all, let me tell you what it's gonna fix. So this is how I run the heat from the heater outside of the tent up to the tent. These things work really good, and they're insulated. They hold the heat in pretty good. But once these get hot, the heat coming out of this heater is really, really hot. Once these get hot outside, they get really flimsy. And when you've got it coming off of a straight intake or outtake or whatever you wanna call that, when you plug this in right here and it gets really hot, it wants to do this. Can y'all see how it just bends down like that? And no matter how much you pull this thing up, it's wanting to drop down because of the heat's making it kind of more flimsy and more flexible. So I picked up something that I hope works. This is a 45-degree silicone boot, and it's an automotive boot. This is for like if you put a cold air intake on your vehicle or a snorkel or whatever. They're made out of silicone, but they're designed to be able to get pretty hot. And the ID, the inner dimension of this, is the exact size to put over this guy right here. Well, I can't do it right now. Come on, get on there. Ugh. Like that. And now we've got that 45-degree angle. And another reason that I wanted this is I don't like leaving this out in the morning dew or if it starts raining. I thought it would be really cool if I could tuck this up under my truck and have this duct sticking out from up under my truck and running up to the tent. And having this little boot on here will stick it out just far enough where we can tuck this up under the truck and get it out of the way. And another thing I'm gonna address today that I thought about, I don't know why they put the exhaust pipe on the front side where the air comes out, but it gets really hot right here, and I don't want anything to touch this. This used to, before I had this boot, it would sag down and touch this exhaust pipe, and it would actually melt through this, and I just didn't like that, so I bought some exhaust wrap tape. I'm gonna wrap this exhaust all the way up, and I've got the exhaust bent so that it runs and faces out the back of the unit. So with this up under my truck, my thought is this should be wrapped up to keep the heat away from the silicone boot. This silicone boot should get this hose far enough away from the unit to shoot straight up beside our ladder and into the tent, and it should work out. Then it will truly be portable with this Dewalt battery and this setup. All we'll have to do is, you know, figure out how to carry this. I'll maybe set something up on the side so we can just hang this on the side and be good to go. And for the last thing I want to build, if y'all remember my tent video, the new tent I got, it pops straight up. It's a really cool tent. It's got this new little pouch on the side beside the door. You got a Velcro flap. You pull the flap up, and then there's this little tube. And the tube is designed to run an AC duct into or a heater duct into, so you don't have to try to squeeze one of these into a window and then can't shut the window all the way or your door. I've dealt with that before. It kind of sucks. This new design on that tent is really cool, and I want to utilize that so that we can run this up beside my ladder, go into that duct, and this heater actually comes with, I got it stuck in a little pipe there, it comes with one of these little vents, and I'm thinking that I can take a piece of my starboard material, because I keep scrap of this plastic board all the time from projects. I'm gonna cut me like a rectangle or a square out of this, and then cut this size hole into it, go into here, and then we'll be able to put this flat vent inside the tent, and it won't pull through because of the square plate that I'm gonna make. And then we'll be able to kind of turn the vent where we need it, aim the air where we need it, and it should work out good. In my head, I've got this worked out. It should work out good. We'll see how this video goes. I might just tear this heater up today and have to order another one. But let me get to work on this. I think the first thing I wanna do is tackle mounting this setup. I think I should be able to fit this in here somewhere. I do wanna make sure that I don't remove the capability, and you can unplug, see if I can show you. You can actually just unplug where the power hooks up in the back of this, and then I'm gonna tap into that. I still wanna be able to use these plugs. So sometimes when it's really cold here at the house, I'll heat up the shop with my diesel heater, and instead of having to use my Dewalt battery when I'm here at the house, I still wanna be able to plug it into the wall. So I'm not gonna remove that completely. We're just gonna tap into it with this here, hide this box in there somewhere, and then hopefully get this mounted in a way that don't look too bad. So all I got is a couple of connectors here, and I think they're 14 gauge wires, so it's a 14-16 connector, little butt connector. And I was gonna go through that hole there, but I think I'm gonna try to go as low. What am I doing with that? I think I wanna try to go as low as I can, because these wires are only so long, and I wanna be able to mount this box inside there. So I'm gonna drill a new hole for these wires to pass through, and I'm gonna get this right in here somewhere. It ain't even gotta be that big. Now before I mount this, I'm gonna go ahead and, while I got the slack, and crimp these wires together. Where'd my heat shrink go? I got some heat shrink to slide on there as well. I just realized I'm doing that right next to the fuel line. Let me try to aim this way. So I decided against the flame. the open flame that I was just using right there around the fuel tank and the fuel line, and I grabbed my heat gun. Let me button this wiring up really quick, and then we'll jump on down to mounting these boxes and not burn the house down. So this is the plug. If you can see down here, this is the plug that comes from the outside that you would plug up your house power and stuff like that to. I just connected it long enough for me to reach back here, and I just tapped right in with our box here. I'm just gonna slide some heat shrink over. And the reason I'm doing it this way again is so that I can plug this back up when we're done and be able to still use that outlet in the back. All right, that's plugged back up. So let me turn this box around so y'all can see the screen. When I pop this battery in, it should automatically power this thing up. Y'all see the screen there, the screen right here. Pull our boot off for now. So it should boot up immediately. Did it do anything? Yes, sir. Look at there, it works. So now our heater, I don't want it to kick on because you don't want to run these heaters and then immediately shut them down. Since they're diesel, they will gum up. And if you do get one of these and you use it, don't just unplug it when you're done. Make sure you turn the power off, and it's got to go through this whole cycle. It takes 5 or maybe 10 minutes sometimes for it to cool down and clean off that glow plug, because if you just unplug these and then you try to plug them up again later, you end up ruining the glow plug. But see how the screen dims down and you reach over and touch it? I'm gonna take the power off of it. That's good. This is gonna be awesome. So now this is gonna be truly a portable heater, not a portable heater. So it's gonna work good. I'm gonna button all this up, knock the rest of this stuff out, and then we're gonna go out to the tent. Now that I know that works, we should be golden. Everything else, all I'm gonna do is wrap this tape around there, throw that boot on there, make me a plate for the inside of the tent, and we're gonna be good to go. Let me knock this stuff out and we'll go out to the tent. All right, guys, I think I have it completed and it's ready to go test out on the tent. I wanna show you how it turned out before we go out there. This is that plate I was talking about. So this is the stuff that actually comes with the heater. It will stretch out, but it's real thin and real fragile. This is real flexible and can go where we want it. I'm using this as my upper 45. So this is the plate I made out of starboard. Here's our vent, so we can turn it. This will go from the inside of the tent out, and you'll see this will stick out of the tent, and we'll be able to come up and slide this over top of this and hook it up. Once we get outside, I'm gonna cut this down. I need to measure it and see how long it is, but this is how our inside vent turned out. If that sits flush against the wall in the tent, that's gonna be really nice. So I did wrap the exhaust. I should have wore gloves. I knew better, but I thought I could do it really quick since it was little. Now I got a handful of fiberglass, but it'll be all right. But I got the exhaust wrapped. It should keep the heat away from our silicone boot here. I got the 45 boot on there. And I made a few changes to the backside where we did the power, and I want to show you before we go out there. So I didn't like the fact that as soon as I popped the Dewalt battery in, the power came on. So I went ahead, dug around in my junk drawer over there, and I found this switch. It's just like one of my boat switches. And when you turn that switch on, see it turns red. Now it'll turn power on to the front. If y'all can see the screen, that LCD screen should be lit. And now when I turn the switch off, it should go right off. So that way, as soon as I pop the battery in, the heater's not on all the time just because the battery's in. Now I can turn it on and off. And other than that, it's ready to go. So let's go pop the tent up on the truck, set this thing up and see how it does. I decided to pull on back here to the back of my property. The street noise was really loud in my driveway. I popped the tent up, got it all kind of set up. I didn't level the truck or anything, but just for video purposes, we're gonna test this heater out. I did bring this guy. So it's 57 degrees outside right now. And I wanted to bring it so that we could see how quickly this heater actually heats up our tent. Now, obviously I gotta get in here and shut the doors, but if you haven't seen this tent, here's a quick look at it. It's got a LED light across the top, windows all the way around. You can see the top of my truck right there, but it's all black in here. So once I zip it all up, it actually stays pretty warm. I wanted to show you my vent that I ended up making, if I can get the camera to focus. And I'm probably gonna end up putting some Velcro behind this plate that we built so that I can kind of keep it more flush against the side of the tent. But you see how it's gonna work. And then I'll be able to turn this and aim our heat where we want it. And if we climb down, you can see I got it set up back here. I did go ahead and flip the power on in the back, but I hadn't turned it on yet. I've got a remote control with this thing. And this heater also has an app, so you can control it with your phone. But for now, we're just gonna go ahead and kick it on. Here's the remote that it comes with. So I'm gonna turn it on, and then we're gonna crank it up. Let's see, let's crank this bad boy to 70, say 75, 70, 78 degrees. I'll tell you what, I will go ahead and show you guys the app. So this is what the app looks like. If you open it up, it should find the heater, connect to it, see how it's set on there. And you can set it for different styles of camping. Like down here, the scene is indoors, tent, scenario 1, scenario 2, so you can actually program those two to be how you want it. And we're just gonna do heating right now. You can hear y'all hear that clicking? So that's the fuel pump starting to prime itself. And once the fuel pump starts to prime, it'll warm up that glow plug and you'll hear it fire. And it's not really loud. Actually, with it set up under the truck down here, it is super quiet. You can't even hear this thing running from the tent, which is great, because I like, when I sleep, to be blacked out on the inside of the tent, which this one is, and super quiet. So I'm gonna let this thing kick on, go up here, shut all these windows. I got the windows open right now, just so, you know, when you shut these tents up, you gotta have the windows open so they shut up a little bit easier. But I'm gonna go up there and close this bad boy up. So it's kicked on now. Let's see if you can hear it. You can hear that fuel pump starting to prime. I hear the exhaust burning. So let's go shut this tent up and see how quick it heats up. It's actually cooled down to 54, so we're starting out at 54 degrees before I get up in here and turn it on, and I can already feel the heat blowing out of our vent. This is gonna work so great, y'all. So let me shut these windows up. All right, it's completely enclosed, and the time is 10:40. Hopefully y'all can see my watch. So it's right at 10:40. We're gonna see how long it takes to get this thing up to temperature, because it is definitely chugging along. I do like how that worked out. So now this heater is actually poked out from up under the truck. It's not gonna lean up on the paint, and it's gonna be protected from rain and in the morning dew and stuff like that. And it being remote controlled or with the app, we'll be able to lay in bed and control this thing really easy. Oh God. All right, so this is not my dog. I don't know where this guy or girl just came from, but I give him some dog food, or her some dog food, because she looks very scrawny. But it's been, what is it, 10 minutes, a little over 10 minutes. Let's see, it's still chugging along really nice. You can hear it running wide open now. This is not too hot at all. That is great. So it means most of the heat is going in, and you can tell this tent is solid too, because the way it's puffed out, like the air in there has actually got the tent kind of puffed out. So it's holding heat in there really well, I'm sure. So let's open it up and see. It's like opening up an oven. Let's see what the temperature is. It is, holy cow, 82 degrees. 82 degrees. So I'm definitely gonna have to turn this thing on low when we use it. But in 10 minutes, we got from what, 54 to 82 degrees. This is gonna be perfect to run all night long. We can zip the tent up, stay nice and warm. I think if there's snow on the ground, we'll be good with this heater. And I don't think we're gonna have to worry too much about fuel or power now, because I think that battery would run for a couple of days, but you can always carry 1 or 2 extra Dewalt batteries and turn this portable Amazon heater into a real portable heater. I like it. Now I just gotta figure out what we're gonna do with this guy. What are you doing? You feel soft. He was out in my field chasing rabbits or something, and I seen him. It took me forever to get him to come to me. You can't be chasing my chickens though. All right guys, so now that I know that this thing works, and it seems to work really well, I'm gonna pack the truck up. I pulled the kayak in the garage yesterday so I can get it rigged out. I wanna go do some cold weather fishing, cold weather camping. I really just love sleeping in a tent out by the lake this time of year. It's really nice. The bugs are gone, so it's really enjoyable camping as long as you can sleep pretty warm, which I think we just took care of that. So I'll film the trip too. So if you're new here, I upload videos every Monday at 6 p.m. Central Time. So hit the subscribe button. If you're into builds and stuff like this, I do all kind of stuff like this on the channel. So y'all stay tuned, and we'll catch up with you guys next Monday at 6 p.m. Peace. Now I gotta find out where this guy came from. Where did you come from? Where did you come from? You're just a puppy.